What comes to mind when you hear the word hiking? Do you enjoy it? Have you ever tried a longer hike? Maybe one that lasts a couple of weeks or more? Or maybe hiking just isn't your thing? Speaking for myself, I absolutely love hiking. I try to spend at least 3 or 4 weeks each year on the trails, and I always come back feeling recharged, both physically and mentally. For me, hiking is the best thing you can do for your well being. It might seem like just one activity, but it's so much more. Done right, hiking is a soothing, meditative experience. It's physical activity in its most natural form and intensity. It's deep nasal breaths of clean air. It's digital detox. Sometimes it's even an opportunity for fasting, cold plunges, grounding, and sun exposure. Put it all together, and you get the most powerful, natural, and sustainable mix for well being. Over the years, I've tried everything, from jogging to weightlifting, but nothing comes close to the healing benefits of hiking. Hiking is incredibly versatile. You can tailor it to any goal: weight loss, improved fitness, better mental health. The options are endless. Hiking aligns with our genetics as humans. We're the species built to walk the longest distances. Evolution shaped us for this. In fact, a person can walk from sunrise to sunset, maybe 13 hours a day, with just short breaks, then sleep soundly and wake up fully recovered, ready to go again. What other physical activity lets you do that? None that I know of. Try running long distances every day. You'll wear yourself out fast, and it's actually bad for your health. I'll talk about why too much cardio isn't good in another episode. Despite the evidence that running is, at best, suboptimal and at worst, dangerous, it's still mainstream. Weightlifting is great, but there's only so much you can do, and it usually happens in gyms with artificially purified air and lighting, which is harsh for eyes. Tennis, pinball, biking, they're all good, but none compare to the wellness benefits of hiking. If there's a downside, it's the time commitment. But think of hiking like slow food versus fast food. Hiking is the slow food of exercise. Yes, it takes longer, but nothing else comes close in terms of health benefits. Let me share a few observations from my years of long hikes, things people often do wrong that drastically reduce the health benefits of their hikes. First, shoes. I always hike in minimalist shoes, zero drop, flexible, with either separated toe sockets or a wide toe box. They allow for the most natural gait. I've tackled some of the toughest routes in minimalist shoes, covering thousands of kilometers, and I've never had an injury or even a single blister. Non-minimalist shoes, in my view, cause micro damage with every step. Yet, I see another person in minimalist shoes, maybe once every 2 to 4 weeks. Honestly, 99.9% of hikers use shoes that damage their feet, backs, all the way up to their necks. People sometimes ask about my shoes, but they rarely try them. On a hike in Corsica, a young French woman told me that many shops in France had stopped selling minimalist shoes because people complained about injuries and the shops didn't want the liability. It's like saying real food makes you sick and demanding more ultra-processed fast food. Absurd. Which brings me to my second observation. Food. Most hikers eat ultra-processed junk food. Finding real food on the trail is tough. Shelters and simple hotels serve dinners, but they're usually just junk. Lots of flour, sugar, and seed oils, with only tiny amounts of cheese, meat, or vegetables. It's common to see hikers snacking on ultra-processed protein bars or sandwiches, the usual city fast food staples. I remember meeting a weekend hiker in France who kept snacking on sweet bread every time she climbed a slope. The second or third time I passed her to see this, I couldn't help but laugh. She thought it was about eating often, but really it was about eating some of the worst ultra-processed stuff. I just couldn't believe the ignorance. Picture this. You're deep in the mountains, miles from the nearest road. Some of the shelters out here are so remote that the only way to get supplies in is by helicopter, like in Andorra, or by loading boxes onto the backs of donkeys, like in Corsica. It's an incredible effort, and honestly, a bit mind boggling when you think about what's being delivered. You'd expect wholesome food, right? But more often than not, it's crates of sugary Coca Cola and bags of potato chips making that dramatic journey. There's something almost surreal about seeing a donkey trudging up a steep mountain trail, loaded down with nothing but soda and junk food. It really makes you stop and think, how did we get to a point where, even in the wildest corners of the mountains, it's sugar and processed snacks that get delivered to hikers? You'd expect this crowd to be all about health and fitness, but take a look around and you'll see it. Coca Cola and chips are still the go to snacks, even up on remote mountain trails. Later that day, I stayed at a campsite that served dinner, a rare occasion for me. Usually, the best part of those dinners is socializing with other hikers. The worst part is the food. This time, a Belgian hiker had recommended the homemade lasagna. At our table was a cardiologist from the US. I mentioned my concern about seed oils in the food, but tried to stay positive, saying that on a tough trail like this one, your body burns everything anyway. To my surprise, the cardiologist seemed completely unaware of the negative effects of seed oils. He just happily repeated, "You burn everything, even if it's junk." Yes, I ate the lasagna, and more bread than I'd like to admit. I enjoyed the bits of goat cheese, butter, and vegetables, but overall, the food was junk by my standards, as expected. To add insult to injury, I had massive diarrhea the next morning. I looked at it as a very effective reminder not to eat at any shelter again. However, real food is scarce on the trails. I usually prefer to fast for a day or two until I can get real food, rather than eat the usual junk at shelters and campsites. Let's get back to the positives. No matter the length or terrain, I always come back from a hike rejuvenated, physically and mentally, always with great memories and experiences I couldn't have planned. The terrain changes every day, making hiking much more stimulating and interesting than the same daily walk. My body composition always improves. If you're active for 5, 6, or more hours a day, you probably won't lose muscle mass, but your body weight will go down. For me, I usually lose 2 to 3 kilograms per week of hiking, but I tend to push it, often walking in a fasted state through what I call food deserts. By food desert, I mean places where no real, healthy, and organic food is available. I just refuse to eat junk food, even if it means fasting for a day or two. That might seem extreme, but we can all choose what works for us as individuals. I enjoy walking in a fasted state, unless the ascent is too steep and my heart rate goes above 120 beats per minute. Taking deep breaths of clean mountain air while enjoying breathtaking views, that's as good as it gets. Now, a few things to avoid. Lodging can be an issue, especially on popular trails during high season. On routes like the Tour du Mont Blanc, some people book a year in advance. That doesn't suit me. I like to stay flexible, adjust my daily distance based on the weather and how I feel, sometimes walking from sunrise to sunset. But this approach isn't without problems. Shelter lodging may not be available. Hotels are rare and far between. Campsites are more feasible. Wild camping is the most flexible, but it may not be allowed. And if bad weather lasts for several days, even the best gear can get soaked. Having a shelter arranged at the end of the day is a blessing. A roof over your head is a luxury in mountains. Even better if your schedule lets you wait out either bad weather or a medical issue in a hotel for a few days. Another thing that's easy to get wrong is backpack weight. It's tempting to pack for every contingency, but a heavy backpack will ruin your experience, especially on multi-week hikes. A heavy pack takes away from the physical benefits of hiking because it affects your gait and posture. I used to carry too much. Smart casual clothes for city stops, even a computer for work. I don't do that anymore. It's not worth it. The lighter your base backpack weight, the better. I feel best when my total pack doesn't exceed 15 kilograms. It's okay if it temporarily goes up to 20 kilograms after restocking food and water, but more than that is uncomfortable for long hikes. A real luxury is having your backpack transferred so you can hike with just a day pack to have more freedom of movement and enjoyment. Last but not least is social interaction. On less traveled routes, you might meet just a few other hikers each day. Meaningful conversations are even rarer, maybe once a week. If you're hiking solo, a good social interaction is a real blessing and a powerful tool. A good conversation can give you a real energy boost. It may sound crazy, but it's true. I remember one morning, leaving a shelter in a small village and seeing a fellow hiker with her dog. A simple good morning, followed by sharing some experiences, is a great way to start the day. Usually, having a coffee when the trail offers the rare opportunity is even better with good conversation, even if you, like me, enjoy solitary walks. It's strange, but every time I have a good chat on the trail, I feel a noticeable energy boost that lasts well after the conversation. If you already enjoy hiking, great, we're on the same page. If you haven't tried it yet, I encourage you to start. Whatever you're looking for in a hiking trip, weight loss, a meditative experience, better health, digital detox, or just more enjoyment of life, you can find it on a hike. Now, if you're looking for a more refined experience, where the best parts of hiking are preserved and the inconveniences removed, we organize hiking tours for groups of up to 10 people in a walk and talk format. You may have heard of the walk and talk tour concept. During the day, you walk with a partner or two, having casual conversations, and in the evening, the whole group sits down for a long discussion, followed by dinner. The walks are designed to be in beautiful environments, not too high up in the mountains, generally below the tree line, and not too strenuous, so conversation is easy. We also remove two more friction points: baggage transfer and food. We walk with day packs only for maximum enjoyment and health benefits, and arrange delivery of organic, healthy food, something that's generally not available in those areas. You might think that in the French or Spanish countryside, healthy food options would be plentiful. But in reality, there are hardly any good options. Whether you join a walk and talk group like ours or go hiking solo, make sure you do it in whatever way feels comfortable for you. I wish you a great trail, good conversation, great food, and that you come back from your hiking trip rejuvenated and inspired. If hiking is the best for health and feeling of well-being, why settle for less?